Welcome back to the Sonic Unleashed commentary, and we're playing day stages this part. I can actually be enthusiastic.
Hooray!
I hate it, by the way. This is just a pet peeve of mine, but I hate it when I end up close to getting like the next milestone number in anything. I've got 897 rings, I'm just 3 rings away from 900.
Okay, so I have a question. So if Eggman actually did blow up the world with the Eclipse Cannon in Sonic Adventure 2, would it have released Dark Gaia?
I think part of the point of Dark Gaia wasn't just that he blew up the planet, but that he shot chaos energy directly into Dark Gaia, and basically, you know, gave it a jump start.
Well, isn't that what the arc cannon fired?
Yeah,
the arc cannon just sort of fires a laser.
But it needed the chaos emeralds to fire it.
For its power, but the arc doesn't drain the emeralds of its chaos power, because you know when.
Yeah, it would have to. Otherwise, why have it as a power source?
Really, because when Eggman, because they use 1 emerald to blow up half the moon, right? That doesn't affect.
Oh, it takes 6 emeralds.
So, okay, 6 to blow up the moon.
Actually,
but like, so all right, then SA2 dork. But like it doesn't drain those emeralds of their power like at all.
Oh, what? Then why would you need them
much lore?
I know.
The Chaos Emeralds are supposed to be an infinite source of power.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. If you need them you needed to power the cannon, so obviously they're being used as a power source, which means they're being drained.
No, kind of, I guess.
It doesn't make any sense otherwise. Otherwise, what? They're just decoration?
They do look pretty.
Yeah, it's like, we can't fire the cannon at full power if all 7 emeralds are not here. It won't look right.
I think a key element of the arc cannon was that it's meant to be fired more than once, so it doesn't use the entire emerald's power. It drains enough that the emerald can reestablish itself, I guess you could say. That's my fanon, anyway.
I want to say to go back to sound design for this game. You know, like they did great work in the architecture and design, and you know of the landscape and of the people. But you have these people. They're clearly meant to be in Africa, but they have perfect American accents.
Tribal Africa,
like,
even.
Exactly. It's
Tribal.
like you couldn't have hired some people who could do that voice or something.
Well, they might be trying to avoid coming across as stereotypical.
You want to know something? No, you don't know. That's not an excuse, okay? My college dean sounds more genuinely African than these people. Like, it's not stereotypical to say a black person is going to have an accent. It's not.
Yeah, it's not stereotypical to say just a standard black person, but these people are clearly coming from Africa.
Well,
they wouldn't have an American accent.
Well, no. My college dean has that, distinctly sort of Nigerian sound to his voice.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So, yeah, that's what I mean. It's not like standard black person in the sense that most jerks on the internet understand it, which is like yo yo yo. But
it's not out of this world to say that, hey, these folks from Africa have African accents. Who knew?
Yeah,
you know, it's insulting. It's more insulting to say that they don't, because that sounds like unnecessary pandering. So what are you pandering to?
no. I'll answer that question. They were pandering to their budget. It's easier to get the people they already have.
I guess so. But just to go back to a cutscene I love about earlier, it's like that the kid threw a rock at Eggman, and I like the metallic sound effect it created. So Eggman is secretly a Terminator.
and also that's the cutscene with the plot hole, because Eggman goes, I knew you'd still be alive, but like you saw me in the sky, like an hour ago, Eggman.
Is it? Okay, so this is one of the levels that wasn't in Unleashed, right?
No, it's this and Empire City.
Which is weird, because they still have that cutscene in the Wii version.
Yeah.
Then you just leave.
Well, no, this world is in the Wii version. There is the Gaia Gate, and you still fight the Egg Beetle, but they just removed the
Sonic and Chip merely just visit Mazuri and Empire. But they don't go to Empire City at all.
No, Empire City was entirely removed. Which also I want to bring up something. Before this game came out, Ken Balo, who was at the time one of the Sega brand managers, in an interview said that both Knuckles and Shadow appear in this game. But of course they don't. And because there is absolutely no no cutscenes at all in Empire City. Part of me thinks that maybe, you know, Knuckles. Nice job there, IGN. It makes me think that just Knuckles and Shadow would have appeared in Empire City, because I think we can theorize based on like stuff like Station Square that the Sonic characters probably live in Empire City. Yeah.
Bullshit. The homing attack is supposed to home you into the fucking the fucking swinging poles, and sometimes you just go through them.
But yeah, so yeah, Knuckles and Shadow were probably cut out of Empire City, which is why there's no cutscenes there, which is probably why Sega were like, we can just remove Empire City because it doesn't affect the plot at all. You know?
Yeah.
Not like Shadow or Knuckles would have had much to do in this game anyway.
No, but you know what? I can understand Shadow sort of being in Empire City because he works for GUN for some fucking reason in 06. But what would Knuckles be doing there?
Protecting the Master.
Unknown from NYC.
I figured out the answer to my own question. It's where he goes to practice his rap songs.
Yeah. He's working on his new album, Unknown from NYC.
Knuckles is in Empire City to check out a 100p concert. Hashtag 300p.
Now, if I recall correctly, the Mazuri daytime music is a remix.
That's what people always say. I myself don't. A lot of people like to say this is it's Bridge Zone, I believe.
No, not Bridge Zone. Actually, not Bridge Zone. The ending credits theme of all things from the 8-bit Sonic 1. But it's all it is. The only remixed part is that
Well, no, you see,
that part.
Lewis, I'm gonna say I don't think it's a remix because Tomio Otani had nothing to do with that game. I think it may just be a coincidence because, like, when Benny Jones did, he wrote Dreams of an Absolution. There's a moment in like the middle where it breaks down, and the melody comes kind of like Green Hill Zone. And you can really hear it in the June Snowy remix. And Benny Jones was just like I didn't intentionally do that. But it's Sonic, so I guess it makes sense.
But you sick fucks already made a canon.
Yes, I mean, again, like people say that, and these are the same people that thought that the SA1 version of Believe in Myself was a remix of Bridge Zone. So I'm like, I think it's more of a coincidence. I can't see Tommy Otini being like, I'm gonna reference this, game that I probably never played, type of thing.
Yeah, it's really strange, but at the same time, this is a part of the song that plays like 3 times a loop, and it's also the most blatant part of the melody. So I'm not sure how coincidental it could be.
Well, I'm not saying that it's impossible they did that. I'm just saying like I don't see the connection between this level and Sonic 1 Master System credits.
I don't either.
It doesn't make. I don't. To me, it doesn't make. It's like when Jun Sonoy remixed Twinkle Park into White Park Act 2 in Sonic Adventure. It makes sense because there was a level set in a theme park, so he remixed it for a level set in a theme park. Like thematically it worked. I don't see a connection again between credit sequence and we're running around like Africa. Like I don't get that myself.
Maybe he just thinks Africa's the credit reel of the world.
What the fuck?
It ends where it began.
Well, okay, if we're gonna get like historical right here, everybody in Europe kept on trying to conquer Africa.
It ends where it began. Johnny, wasn't that the plot of Resident Evil 5?
Yeah. I guess. Well, I don't think it. I think Africa was just merely thematic.
I love this music in the cutscene. It sounds like spy music when Sonic's chasing Eggman here.
Yeah.
The most redundant line in video game history. How did you get here so quickly? It's a fucking fast hedgehog, Eggman. It's kind of what he's good at.
I wanna ask something about Eggman's Eggomatic. Why does it have such a massively wide seat? Like wider than Eggman?
Eggman needs to be.
He likes to spread his feet out.
No, he has like no seat belt, and he has this really frickin' wide seat. Okay?
Like Eggman gives a shit about.
No, but he's a really heavy guy. And he's flying around doing all these maneuvers. He's going to be buffeted around inside that cockpit like nobody's business.
I love the animation of this like Sonic Tapper and Chip doing that like weird kung fu shit. It's not canon for here, but they in like the intro to Lost World, he has like Egg Orbon Cubot in there with him. which could explain why he needs more space. But again, at this point, they weren't a thing.
Well, there
so.
was a robot that looked like Orbot in the last cutscene, but he wasn't red. He was like gray.
That's
Ergo.
That's his official name is SA55 or SAS. But although the fans because as we're gonna see one of his quirks is he always says Ergo. The fans nicknamed him Ergo.
Alright, this boss, actually, I had a really easy time doing it this time. I already got all the medals. But one of the things during the day stage bosses is that I actually do take some time to pick up all the medals along the way, if I can. And in the case of the Atabat and Spagonia daytime bosses, it can really stretch out the boss time a lot.
My thing, and again, this is, I think, this is a complete anal nitpick. I expect people in the comments to just tell me to shut up. But in terms of the logic of this road, this is a never-ending road. How did they get on here? How would they get away from this thing?
They were building a Sonic and All Stars Racing Transform track, and then they just have a boss fight here for some reason.
I fucking love that. If it's just this very flat, straight
The game
track.
was delayed by 2 years.
But then this track was rejected because they realized there are no wacky jump places where we can have transformation sequences.
They weren't done yet, okay? Give them some time.
Now, you want to know what the true rejected track is? That fucking figure 8 mission. Fuck that mission. That fucking mission. Ah.
We're coming up to one piece. The cutscene we're about to see plays a piece of music. In the Wii version, it's used as the main theme for the Gaia temples,
Which I love.
and it's just this really nice kind of piano rendition of the World Adventure, the main theme for this game. And it's such a shame in the HD version you don't even get to hear the whole thing, because it's literally one of the most beautiful pieces of music I've ever heard. It's so nice and relaxing. It's just amazing.
Mm-hmm. Well, you can listen to it in the music menu later on.
Yeah.
Don't you gotta find that record first, though?
Yeah, you do.
One thing in terms of the animation I like, because we see it first in the opening cutscene, but they do it in-game as well, is that at various times, Sonic and other characters, they'll kind of like stretch like old Tom and Jerry cartoons. And like it's just another way of making the world feel more kind of stylized, and I kind of like that.
At the same time, as much as I will compliment the visual style of Unleashed and pretty much every 3D Sonic game at this point, there's still something about the animation that looks a bit stiff.
It's probably the facial animations, because
No, I would say body animations too.
up until Sonic Boom, though. Up until Sonic Boom, and it's like the one compliment I can give Sonic Boom over the recent Sonic games is, up until Sonic Boom, the faces don't really emote at all.
I know what, Lewis, in the main games I agree, but again, go back and watch the cutscenes in Riders.
Yeah, but Riders was also a spin-off with weird, stretchy, lanky.
But until Boom, I didn't, they're adequately animated. I don't want to say they're badly animated. They're not.
No.
They're animated just fine. It's just that until Boom, I didn't really think they got that part right.
Well, again, I think it's something I brought up in the Sonic Boom up we did for characters with such big expressive eyes as these Sonic characters do. They don't really do a lot with their eyes. Especially I think Lost World is the biggest culprit of that. There's so many cutscenes where like their eyes just stay kind of dead.
Yeah.
Locked in
You want
place.
to know what part of you want to know what probably factors into that? Okay, most of the cutscenes, the storyboarding, the animation, it's all done in Japan by Japanese animators, and all of that stuff we're talking about, squash and stretch, the type of expressivism that you see in Western cartoons, is all Western animation stuff. It's not something that's necessarily... when you see expressive faces in a Japanese cartoon, it's a completely different kind of expression.
Well, something that they do in Japan an awful lot more than they do in Western stuff is that they'll just put like a little thingy over people's heads.
Yeah.
And that's how you know that they're feeling something. Like, it actually happens in this game where they have little purple smoke.
But
But
in anime, instead of flowing through an animation into a completely different expression with the same shape of eyes or face, what they'll wind up doing in anime is changing the face completely in one frame. It's like instead of having a facial expression, they have a phone emote. And it's funny, in anime style, but it's not something you can do with Sonic characters. It doesn't work with that art style.
Still broken.
Sometimes I feel like the cutscene animators that work for Sonic Team for the main series Sonic games don't really know how to properly animate the art style that Sonic got stuck with. You know?
Well, it's weird because the CG cutscenes always look fantastic. You know, they're really
Well, that's
expressive
because
in there.
that's probably because they're properly storyboarded and stuff. And
Well,
have, like,
the
a different production team
CG
entirely.
the CG cutscenes though, aren't they outsourced to another studio?
Well, that's not studio, but it's a Sega-owned studio, so they still keeping it within Sega.
Is it a Sega-owned studio in Japan though?
Yes, Sega. It's a Mars Planet.
Okay.
I think what it might be is that they're also working with their own like CG stuff, whereas here most of these cutscenes are in-game engine, or at least in the Unleashed version. In the Wii version, they just cut to the Unleashed cutscene.
Well, you
Yeah.
know, it's weird. The problem is though, so with the Wii version, they kind of rendered cutscenes, and it's a blessing and a curse because in the Wii version there is no frame rate issues. As we're going to see, where there's issues with whenever the werewolf's on screen, the frame rate tends to get bad. But in the Wii version, because they're exported, they run really smooth. The problem is because they're exported, they're kind of compressed. And so they don't look as clean as they do here. So that's
Which
why, you know,
was to be expected.
which, you know, PS4 remake, give us this game at 60 frames a second as it's
And again,
to be played.
I think for as expressive the cutscenes are in the CGI cutscenes, that definitely is possible with in-game real-time stuff. It's just a matter of direction.
Again, well, I say Boom, like again, go back to Boom, they're extremely expressive.
Yeah.
No, Boom I still think has the best. I still think has some of the best writing in cutscenes.
I would definitely agree that it has. Well, you know, writing's subjective, but I would say,
Well, writing as in dialogue.
Well, I would say in terms of animation, that is
yes,
probably some of the best.
I would say
in-game
that is like the
Sonic
one
cutscenes.
thing I will no doubt give Boom. It gets character animation perfectly.
Yep.
So I like to see more of that if Boom should ever continue.
Hot dogs.
And a good game.
I'm only going to do like one of these missions just to illustrate what the hot dog missions actually are. And what the hot dog missions are is doing the stages over and over and over and over again. Over and over again 9 times in the case of the day stages.
Johnny, I just want to quickly go on when you were talking about this, because this is just repeated stuff. I don't mind not talking about the game for a second, but you're talking about if Boom continues. I hope they go back to that art story. For like Boom, for Lyric and Shattered Crystal, they use the Big Red Button animators to do those cutscenes. But from what we've seen of Fire and Ice, I would put good money on the cartoon people doing the CG cutscenes we've seen for that. Because I mean, like, I can't see, because obviously, Big Red. If you watch the 3 CG cutscenes, Big Shattered Crystal has, they're clearly using the Lyric engine and like character models. I can't see Sega contracting Big Red Button to do a few cutscenes.
Well, you don't even have to hire Big Red Button. Just hire the animators. They're probably freelance.
Oh, they are now.
Yeah.
So do these hot dog missions basically work like the extra missions in Adventure 2, where you just do like, well, you've already gotten more than 100 rings. And
You're just replaying the level over and over again under stricter time limits.
No, stricter time limits or other goals. In this case, the rings. But, you know, you have to get to the end of the level. Look at that. I got hit and I'm still over 100.
In Adventure 2, once you got 100 rings, the level would just end, if I remember correctly.
I'm trying to remember if, because the Wii version has like things like this as well. I'm trying to remember if on the Wii version the levels end if you get like the amount of rings you need and stuff.
I think they were just shorter areas. Like you wouldn't be playing through the whole level. It'd be like get 100 rings within this section of the level.
The Wii version had like little challenge in massive air quotes. It had little challenge missions.
Hey, some of them were
just small level
that
chunks.
That freaking don't break pots in
Wasn't that actually secret rings?
No, there's another one in Unleash, and it's annoying as shit in the Wii version.
Don't break pots. Poor Link, man.
I'm in hell.
Oh man, but you know, the problem with the hot dog missions isn't even what you do in them. It's the fact that they decided to have escalating difficulties or ranks for each hot dog mission that you couldn't skip. So basically what this amounts to is in every case except for Eggman Land, I basically do what the final level of difficulty would require of me 3 times. And I can't just get credit for the level 3 version of it the first time. I have to go through levels 1, 2, and 3 to get all of the hot dog missions done.
To make sure you are truly ready.
What do you even get for this?
Your reward is a specific hot dog that's unique to the area, and basically you want to eat those because they give you experience points.
What if you give them to Chip?
Yeah, I think it happened.
They give you 70 experience points, which is not even enough to level up.
Well, what happens if you give it to Chip?
If you give it to Chip, he'll say something about hot dogs, and you make him more closer to being your friend.
He reacts,
I love
he
it.
reacts to the
Yum.
food.
I'll explain how Chip and food works next part.
Okie dokie.
I can't wait.